Chapter 2. The Crossing Trails Wellness Center integrated many medical services into one building. Separately, the community could not sustain a hospital, a nursing home, a health clinic, and a rehab facility, so they combined these functions all under one roof. Although duly certified, it had by necessity evolved along unorthodox lines, and the hiring of Laura Jordan was a case in point. At most hospitals, trying to hire a young LPN who worked with a service dog would trigger a managerial and legal cyclone that would cause the HR person to dive for cover. At the Crossing Trails Wellness Center, the challenge had been addressed with remarkably little hand-wringing. Why not give it a try? Laura was 24 years old, slender and not very tall, with long blonde hair, soft brown eyes, and a welcoming smile. Because she was always quick with a helping hand and a kind word, most of her colleagues and patients did not immediately notice when she moved slowly on some days. Her rheumatoid arthritis would come and go like an unwelcome house guest. When it arrived, she walked stiffly and sometimes needed assistance sitting down and getting up again. Under her photo this month, and not for the first time, was a small sign that read, "Employee of the Month, Laura Jordan and her service dog, Gracie." More than one patient who checked in at the reception area of the wellness center looked at the photo and asked, "Can she be my nurse?" The receptionist would grin and say, "You'll have to get in line. She has a long waiting list." It turned out that Gracie was capable of doing a lot more than helping Laura up and down from a chair and fetching dropped objects. Gracie had an entire set of skills that had been slowly noted and assessed at the wellness center. For medically trained professionals, these skills were sometimes hard to believe or understand. The dog was accomplishing tasks that weren't in the textbooks, at least not yet. Gracie would stand patiently by a bed with a patient's left hand drooped over the bed rail and resting on the dog's furry white head while Laura took blood pressure measurements and asked about the person's pain levels and symptoms. Something remarkable happened. It was right in the medical records and not subject to cynical guffawing. When measured and charted over several shifts for a statistically significant number of patients, pain levels, heart rates, and blood pressure consistently dropped in the soothing presence of the dog. Gracie was a healer of a different variety. The dog intuitively offered something that many sick people needed. Laura would sit in a chair beside the bed and talk with a patient for a few minutes, waiting to see if Gracie felt the invitation to interact. If Gracie did, Laura would pull gently on the service dog harness that kept Gracie close to her. When given permission, Gracie would put her front legs up on the bed so the patient could cradle her furry white face in their hands and feel the dog's warmth. Within 60 seconds, a healing exchange occurred. Depressed faces lit. Anxiety-ridden minds relaxed. Patients expressed feelings of gratitude. They felt safe and cared for in a unique way that was not typically experienced in a hospital setting. Todd jogged the 2 blocks from the town hall to the wellness center. He met Laura in the lobby. While she hung up her coat, Todd told her all about his dog's fine performance that evening at the town hall meeting. Todd patted Gracie affectionately, looked up at Laura, and gave his little "what's up" shrug that was always delivered with a friendly twinkle from his sky-blue eyes. "What do you want me to help you with?" Laura led Todd to the closed door of a supply closet just past the reception area. Inside were stacks of boxes. For those patients who would be staying at the wellness center over the holiday, their family members were invited to leave one average-sized box with the patient's name and room number written on the outside. They were to enclose in the box those familiar holiday objects that would help make their loved one feel at home for Christmas. Almost without exception, the one-box rule was broken. Also stuffed in the closet, with apologetic little notes, were assorted extras, including